Good Friday midday to you. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. A good midday Friday to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights Consulting, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This outlook, we have a long duration of mostly light snow, some wet snow, and mixed wintry precipitation types that'll all be occurring across the state. Also some rain. This will develop Friday evening, mostly as just some light, wet snow, and be active right into the early part of Monday morning, so through the entire weekend. Now, northern Vermont is most susceptible to some higher terrain wet snow. It looks like it's going to be below snow water equivalents of a half an inch, but there'll be a period of that wet snow, and also a period of freezing rain potential. This is utilities should monitor further updates. The weekend storm system is part of a long swath of precipitation, with many precipitation types that will move across the region through the entire weekend. It'll exit to two good project weather days, thanks to an area of higher pressure building in for Monday and Tuesday of early next week. We'll see a weak disturbance, then follow that with more moderately active weather Wednesday and beyond with another mild intrusion. The forecast is very complex and may be subject to error with lowered confidence, so heads up on that. And we're mostly talking about precipitation types and geography. One thing I want to show you right off the bat here, we have basically three streams of the polar vortex. We have the polar vortex here. We have this sort of second split stream, and then the subtropical jet easily defined right here. So these are all sort of in interaction and potentially even messing a little bit with the modeling right now. We have this first shortwave that's beginning to move in. This is the 500 millibar flow aloft, and you can see a lot of snow falling across the lower Great Lakes, moving into parts of New York. This eventually is going to make it in here tonight, starting in mainly southern Vermont and then spreading northward through the night. It's good for about a dusting to a couple of inches. Not a big deal here. And you can see the temperature differentials here with temperatures well below zero across a good portion of Ontario, getting into Quebec. St. Lawrence Valley has temperatures in the teens, 20s across mainly Vermont, and then 30s to the south. All these are kind of wiggling back and forth with these shortwave troughs that are working through the region. Okay, looking at the modeling here, these 6-hour panels. So this is our little Alberta Clipper system that's primarily going to bring us a nice little gentle snowfall here of a dusting to a couple of inches, perhaps up to 3 inches in some locations. Best chances for that in the Northeast Kingdom Highlands. So it moves in tonight, really affects the overnight period. And then we're into, this is about 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and then following that, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You might notice we're still in some snow here with these 5,400 meter thicknesses and colder aloft. The lower the thicknesses, the colder the air. The warmer the thicknesses, the higher thicknesses support warmer air and rain. So looking at what's going to happen late in the day on Saturday here, we're going to see a little more of an uptick, and this is where some wet snow will begin to fall across mainly northern Vermont. But you're also noticing that these 5,400 meter thicknesses lines now are starting to get into southern Vermont, and that means this is going to be starting as rain. So where this sets up here, mainly rain across southern Vermont, a little bit of wet snow, and some minor wet snow loading across our northern Green Mountains. I don't think it's going to affect valley floors. It looks like it's going to be very close in the slopes here, but some wet snow definitely. So we're getting into the evening hours on Saturday and then into the overnight period on Saturday night. That precipitation burst then shoots off to the east. We have a little bit of a lull, and then rain continues to move on in and overspread the region. Now in the Champlain Valley, this becomes a little more problematic. This is greater than 1/1500ths of an inch with the lighter greens here. So we're seeing a little heavier rainfall, and it could be anywhere from a trace amount to perhaps around 3/10ths of an inch. So this begins to pull away by 1 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and by 7 o'clock it's pretty much out of here as things begin to push off pretty quickly. High pressure builds in for a couple very nice days for basically Monday and Tuesday. The next little weather system will be forming to the west across the Great Lakes and moving as a little bit of snow shower activity. That moves through during the morning hours on Wednesday. And then beyond that, our next weather maker is going to be situated for Thursday. It looks like another rain mixed precipitation event potential. So heads up for that. And these systems keep on coming at us. Let me just take you a little bit further along here. It's just a mess. So you can see the 0 degree Celsius line is now north of the Canadian border, and this is valid during the morning hours. And that would mean it would be falling as all rain. So just to run this through, and that precipitation is out of here and back into cold air. This is Monday into Tuesday, and then that next weather system on Wednesday moves on through. So weekend is fraught with a few issues here. However, they all look to be just a little bit below thresholds for utilities. The GFS ensemble, centered on Burlington, shows rain, a little bit of snow, rain-snow mix, and so forth. Seems to be in pretty good agreement here. A little break in the action, and then the stuff that moves through the shortwave trough along about Wednesday or so. Looking at the total QPF accumulated precipitation totals, the blue line is about 1 inch. This is about 1.5. And it looks like the heaviest precipitation checking across the southeast United States, south central into portions of the northeast. We stay a little bit on the drier side. And running temperatures on the GFS ensemble as well. The warmest temperatures in the mid-30s. That's going to happen during Saturday. And then you can see we flirt with temperatures very close. Looking at 850 millibars, rain versus snow, you can see just how close this period here it is. And a little bit of a model shake-up here, especially as we get past the 13th, 14th. Maximum temperature anomalies, the highs of the day as they compare to normal. Colder in the center of the country. Of course, we're a little bit above normal now at weighted temperatures as this little milder push comes in. That is good for about the first 5 days. What about 3 days later? That's how it's shaping up here. We're still going to be a little bit above normal, but fairly close to neutral at this point. Pretty good conditions out there for the ski resorts at this point in time, and some pretty good crowds taking place. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.